for lats. So we're gonna start with our elbows out, and then we're gonna rotate in and then push outward. And you should feel, you think about pinching a piece of paper in your armpits. One more time. Stamp, tear, push out, and relax. So that was the rooting drill. We kind of started talking about bending the bar a little bit. So that kind of rooting with our hands, obviously we're not, so that'd be, rooting with your hands would be really effective for a push-up. When we're actually grabbing the bar, we're trying to break the bar, and then we're going to see that you can actually, with these torque bars, we can actually see the bar move a little bit. So I'm bending the bar here, and then I'm going to pull the bar apart on the way up. On a squat, I'm bending the bar this way, engaging my lats. And a deadlift, I'm bending the bar this way, engaging my lats. And we're going to do some drills with bands to kind of go through all these different positions. But in general, if I could set my feet, set my breathing and bracing, set my lats, break the bar, so if I could root my feet, breathe and brace, bend the bar, a lot of times, 99% of the time, everything else is going to, if you can hold those positions, the squat, the deadlift, the bench is going to look really good. So that's going to be like really, really key. So in any lift, if you can create full body tension with those movements, that's going to be key. Okay, so we're going to start in the push-up position. So we do this prone shoulder series. This is a really good way to kind of learn to kind of engage your back. While Stevie's, one more thing, we'll just do this with the group. Bring your shoulders forward and pull your shoulders back and lift your hands up. So that's a good way to kind of learn what the bottom position of a bench feels like. And also just to understand how to retract your shoulder blades and keep them retracted in the bottom position. A lot of times people will kind of get in this anterior, this shoulder position, which is not good. So we want to keep the shoulders retracted. So that's a good way to teach it. You know, like show them the extremes. It's a good way to kind of teach people, like, you know, like, so they, when they get in those positions, they understand it's wrong. So we're going to lift off the ground. So we're keeping to make sure the shoulder blades are retracted. He's got a lot of tension here, so this is good. So this is mimicking the lat tension you'll need for a bench, for a push-up, or a dumbbell bench, any type of horizontal push. Relax. We're going to do a Y position. So if I was doing some sort of overhead work, I like to go from the Y to the W because that kind of mimics bending the bar in a squat. So this would kind of mimic like a low bar squat position. I'm going to try and pinch my finger harder. Go to Y so I can kind of go through. So that's a really good pre-squat warm-up. Go pull down to W. Good. Think about pinching a piece of paper in between his armpits and relax. Good. Now we're going to go through V. So for a deadlift, we're going to anti-shrug. It's called depressing the scapula, and then extending the shoulder. Go. And relax. Let's get a little closer. Shrug down and pull up. So this is going to help prevent upper back from rounding and keeping the bar from getting away from you in a deadlift. So these we consider these activation exercises. Okay, so now that we're going to go, we went from a prone position, which is lying face down, to a quadruped position, so on all fours. We're going to go through 4 different movements, and they're going to kind of work different positions for different lifts. But we're in general working our hip abductors, external rotators, and our glutes. So the muscles that abduct, externally rotate, and extend the hip. So these are going to be the functions that we need for when we squat, bench, and deadlift. So first we're going to do is a fire hydrant. So legs should come out to the side. So Stevie's doing a good job of keeping his pelvis very level. I always like to kind of use the analogy, like if you can imagine like your favorite soft drink or a favorite beverage on your back, you don't want to spill the drink. Do a bad rep for me, like where you twist your, you can see, yeah, worse. Yeah, so that's when the pelvis is not level. So you can see a lot of people, they do these weird things. So that's bent legs, that's with the knee flexed. Abduction, hip abduction with the knee flexed. And now when you bring your leg out to the side, here, straight out, foot here, foot here. Good. So you're never going to be out this wide, but this would be more similar to a feeling of a really wide squat or a sumo deadlift. The other thing that we did was extend the lever arm, so it's going to make the movement a lot harder. So just barely bring it off the ground. This is going to be challenging for a lot of people. So he's got a little bit of a shift here, not terrible, it's fine, but he's still feeling, so all the muscles are kind of firing up in the outer hip. Good. So for people that are trying to learn the sumo deadlift, and they're really trying to learn to keep their hips open and not let their knees collapse, having your abductors and external rotators strong is going to be really important for keeping those positions. Now we're going to go hip extension, straight back. So our butt is flexed, also our quad is flexed, so our knees stay straight, toe pulled toward the shin. This would be like a lockout position for our deadlift. Good. Now we're going to do the same thing, but now we're going to keep the knee bent. This would look like a flat-footed bench, so leg drive and a bench. So see how we're working all the positions before we even get onto the bar.